Hello, this is Gabrielle Langley, reading for the Huffington Post. These first pieces are from my current manuscript, a collection of poems called Azaleas on Fire. The first poem is called La Scala. Along the cool links of Carrara marble, the ghosts of Verdi and Puccini, I hear them whisper in the gilt-framed passageways, and even here in these folds of red velvet. They whisper of scandal. They whisper of Europe's capital cities and the passport of a woman named Marguerite. I want to hide in their whispering, in this opera house, a draft of air, slipping behind the weighted curtains. I want to be a silk slipper lost beneath a petticoat. I want to be a courtesan's red damask dress. I too have been led astray. La Traviata. I am here on the stage set. Hide me quick. Hide me here in the rose bushes. I am not afraid of the thorns. The next poem is called Istanbul, 6 a.m. From a sky of minarets, the call to prayer pierces sleep. The coupling of two caged doves, a dark and a light, the sound of beating wings, an asymmetry of feathers ignores the wire cage. They whisper in the language of birds. They have their own prayers. In the Turkish countryside, brown sparrows dance on pebbles. There is a garden table, a breakfast of walnuts and dates, the sound of cold crisp apples, sliced, fall into the plate, wet in their own juices. Light, pale gold crumbs of a sweet bread fall at the feet of an old man's chair. He sips his tea and marvels at the constant hunger of birds. This next poem is called Ghazal for a Man from Lebanon. How many roads will lead you to a man from Lebanon? Does the wind always smell like flowers to a man from Lebanon? The British poets speak of their cool waters, but I would rather burn for a man from Lebanon. Once upon a time, swimming nude in the morning sky, I gave myself to a man from Lebanon. The finest weave of blackened wool, laced at the front with a golden thread. This caftan was worn by a man from Lebanon. I have dreamt of another sun-bronzed hand, unfastening tiny hooks. I know it is a man from Lebanon. Pastries in rosewater, crushed pistachios, dripping honey. I will feed them myself to a man from Lebanon. Aching here in this moonlight, I string my English words like pearls. I will give them to a man from Lebanon. When I am old, the children will gather on Christmas Eve. They will ask for the stories of a man from Lebanon. Would this poem sound so very different in Arabic, calligraphy in the hand of a man from Lebanon. And tell us, Gabrielle, can it be true? All your poems have been written for a man from Lebanon. The next piece is called Narcissus. Flowers in January, something of me left in your world. Something small, white, narcotic, indolic. If ghosts carried scent in their rising from the earth, this would be it. This smell, not quite jasmine, tuberose, civet, musk deer, but something very close to the smell of your skin in the rain. Yellow-centered stars, clustered, hovering on tall, wet, emerald stems. You will find them in the damp silver morning fog. When I am dead, bury me here. Bury me beneath pine needles. Plant me with narcissus bulbs. I want to wake again 3 months later in your world, a small, paper white face, standing slender in the cold, a green wisp of nothing, thin, pale feet, tiny roots that cling to a wet, black earth. One tiny fool who will still sing you a love song in the middle of a freezing rain. This next piece is a love poem I've written in memory of my mother and my father. It's from a project I'm working on, a collection of water poems. This one is called Birthstone. My conception must have been early June, in the month of pearls and weddings. My father said it happened on his birthday. I like to imagine it was after the cake and champagne in a pale blue bedroom that he swam the length of my mother's moon-white skin by candlelight. I was born 9 months later, out of wedlock. But as they slept, his fingers woven into the waves of her long black hair, I'm told she dreamt of an aquamarine. This final piece is a poem about aging. It debuted this year in the Art Lines Poetry Anthology. This was the anthology published by Public Poetry and the Museum of Fine Arts Houston. It's called L'Ancienne. In the dead of winter, I will spend the very last of my money on roses, the color of twilight and ashes. I will hang my hands like withered lilies, fingers slowly placing the small silver coins into someone else's palm. In the damp wind, my skin will turn translucent, my hair like spider's threads. Shuffling in the snow, I will carry home the last of the pale roses, arriving just before the hard freeze hits. Familiar voices still inside the gray-white hollow of my skull. Silver blue veils of ice will linger until March. All winter long, a frost will cover the windows until I see a crack in one of the panes. Thank you so much.